The Golden Column, Chapter 6, The Inner Doctor. The spine is the physical axis of your body. It is the inner tower which, upon the entire structure you call, is built. It is support, it is bridge, it is conduit. But not only on a structural level, it is also on the energetic, emotional, and mental planes. When someone is said to bend under the pressure of life, the expression is more literal than it seems, because the spine is not indifferent to the inner language. It listens to thoughts, records emotions, and translates every belief into tension rigidity or flexibility. When a person with when a person lives with guilt, their spine curves forward. When someone is constantly defensive, the upper back tightens. When someone carries burdens, the lumbar zone becomes inflamed. None of this is accidental. It's a functional law. When the subconscious receives a dominant idea, I can't handle this. This is breaking me. I must endure. It communicates it to the nervous system. And the nervous system, a faithful messenger, sends contraction signals to the deep muscles of the back. That's why healing the spine does not begin with a massage or surgery or an external medicine. It begins with a change in word. It begins with a reprogram of the inner posture. And that posture does not refer to how you place your body, but to how you hold life. If your attitude towards existence is one of weakness, your spine will obey. If your self-image is of a poorly designed structure, your vertebra will take on that form. But if your thoughts are firm, if your inner voice affirms order, if your belief system is based on dignity and uprightness, then your spine will respond with elevation, openness, and strength, because it too learns how it too listens, because it too learns, because it too listens, because it's like every organ is a student of your consciousness. A 45-year-old man, an architect by profession, came to me suffering from lower back pain that had persisted for over 6 years. He had tried physiotherapy, acupuncture, stretching, and corrective exercises, but without lasting success. During our conversation, he said a revealing sentence. I feel like the whole weight of my family is on my back. I replied, what you feel your spine is fulfilling. I offered him an analogy that that he as an architect would understand better than anyone else. Have you ever seen a cathedral whose vault collapsed because its mental blueprint was designed to fail? Well, your body is a cathedral, and you are the architect, signing the blueprints each day with your thoughts. I suggested a daily practice in which he would visualize his spine as a solid column of gold, upright, radiant, unshakable. Each morning he was to sit with his back straight, close his eyes and say aloud, my spine is strong, it is firm, it's flexible. It is the spine of God within me. Nothing bends it, nothing burdens it, nothing crushes it. It is free. And as he said this, he was to imagine each vertebra as a perfectly aligned block of light. After 2 weeks, his pain episodes had significantly diminished. After 2 months, his posture has changed and his mobility improved, not because gold replaced bone, but because the the idea of a divine column replaced the idea of a burden. The body did the rest. Your spine is more than bone and cartilage. It is the central axis of your energy field. Through it flows not only neural impulses, but its mental vibrations. Eastern traditions describe it in terms of energy channels, nadis, while Western science speaks of the spinal cord and the sympathetic nervous system, but the functional truth is the same. Everything that happens in your mind is eventually reflecting in your back. Whoever is emotionally bent over will experience it physically too. That is why it is essential to adopt a new mental attitudes toward the spine, not as a zone that bears weight, but as the most of a sacred vessel, as the axis of a noble structure, as the vertical line through which the higher mind descends to inhabit the body. A woman who carried, um, cared for a sick mother for over a decade told me she began suffering chronic pain in her sacral and cervical regions. Her language was revealing, I am everyone's support. No one helps me. This is breaking me in two. When I asked her what image she had of her body, she described it as a worn out wooden beam. I proposed she replace that image with another, a column of white marble, unbreakable because it does not allow itself to be invaded. I ask her to visualize her spine every night before bed as a smooth, shining vertical column upon which the dome of the divine temple rests, and to repeat a simple phrase. I release every burden that is not mine. My spine is clean, free, straight. The Holy Spirits hold me from within. After 40 days, her symptoms significantly diminished. Her body no longer needed to carry because her mind had stopped signing that contract. It is very common for people to assume emotional responsibilities that do not belong to them. And the subconscious translate that assumption into spasm, rigidly pinched nerves. The back never fails without cause. When the soul tenses, the back shows it. When the consciousness gives up, posture collapse. But the opposite is also true. When the mind asserts itself, when the soul is liberated, the back regains its dignity. And that dignity does not come from an external therapist, but from an internal affirmation. The spine listens when you speak to it. The spine aligns when you feel you have the right to stand tall. The spine heals when you decide to walk without the weight of others' ideas. New visualization, your spine. Now visualize your spine as a column of gold, not as a decorative symbol, but as a real living, vibrant structure. Feel that each vertebra is a letter in the alphabet of your life. Feel that each disc is a pause filled with intention. Feel that each segment is upheld by divine wisdom and speak clearly. I do not carry, I do not endure, I do not bend. I am living up righteousness. I'm a sacred column. This kind of prayer, when repeated daily with visualization and bodily presence, has remarkable effects on posture pain, inflammation, and mobility, because the spine is not a slave to age. It's a slave to the image you hold of it. And you can change that image at any moment. Many people waiting for their body to straighten without changing the mental blueprint that bends it. But that is as absurd as hoping a crooked house will stand upright without touching the foundation. The good news is that your foundation can be rebuilt with new thought, with affirmation, affirmative word, with elevated vision. Gold does not break, and you have the right to lie, to live with a column of gold. Thank you.